Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome to your C++ tutorial series. This is the introduction video that's just going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be covering in the next 100 plus videos. So maybe you came to this series because you know you have to learn C++, or maybe you're just looking for something new to do. But let me tell you, this series is going to be a lot of fun, and no matter what your expertise level, this series will have something good for you. So we're going to start from pretty much a complete beginner, and by the end of the series you'll have a pretty proficient understanding of object-oriented programming, multi-file compilation, some different data structures, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So I'm pretty darn excited, and I sure hope you are as well. So why would you want to study C++? Well, C++ is still a very popular programming language despite the fact that many people would call it an older programming language. People still actively use C++ today, and it has survived the times. In fact, it's a thriving programming language that they're still updating. There's still new capabilities being added to it regularly. So C++ really set the foundation for all these other programming languages you hear of. You hear of Java and C#. Well, these are all object-oriented programming languages, and the roots of object-oriented programming come back to C++. So this is where it all began, and this is the best place to learn it. Now there's something beautiful but also very challenging about C++, and that is that you are in control. As the developer, you can do pretty much whatever you want with C++, but there's a downside to that in that it's really easy to not know what you're doing. So it's important to follow a good tutorial series, and I'm hoping this is what that is to you. With C++, you can write extremely optimized code and write really fast applications. So this is the kind of programming language if you want to do anything with like a physics engine, a video editor, a video game, anything that's going to be very intense. C++ is probably going to be able to do that for you. Now you don't have to do all that crazy stuff. You can build simple console-based applications with C++, and throughout this series, that's what we're going to be using. We're going to just talk about the concepts of the C++ programming language, and we're going to be using the console. Ugh, I know it's so boring. But this is where education begins. My goal is to teach you the theory, the technique of C++, as well as general programming concepts you could then take to C# or Java or any of these other programming languages. So what you need to know about C++ is it's an example of a compiled language. So C++ code is like this weird form of English where you can kind of understand it as a human once you learn the syntax. So us as humans are able to write C++ code. But unfortunately, a computer can't just look at C++ code and know what to do. The C++ code has to be compiled into something the computer can understand. So one thing about the series is I have beautiful handwriting and my illustrations are awesome. So keep that in mind as you go through this. So we code in C++, and we do that on a computer. Wow, this is just bad. But in order for the C++ to be understood by the computer, it needs to be compiled. So compiling is when we take C++ code and it becomes machine code, which is what the computer can understand. Because this is a compiled language, we have a tool known as the compiler. And you're probably going to have like this weird love-hate relationship with the compiler because the compiler is always going to tell us when there's some kind of syntax error in our code, but usually the message it gives us is very cryptic and very hard to understand. So the benefits of using a language that's compiled is that it's impossible to make syntax errors. We can still have what are known as logical errors where our code doesn't work the way we want it to, but if there's any kind of typo or issue when it comes to the keywords of C++, the compiler is going to scream its face off and it's going to refuse to compile our code. Because of this, developing in C++ is going to help us make good coding habits. That's because it's pretty much impossible to make any really large scalable application inside of C++ without first getting those habits down, which the compiler is definitely going to help us out with. So by the end of the series, I'm hoping you can start building your own C++ applications and have what it takes to go get an entry-level or even intermediate-level position as a software engineer, software developer, or systems engineer, whatever it might be. You can use C++ to your benefit whether you're going into software engineering or if you just want to learn some code for fun. It's a great language to start with, and you're going to learn a ton. C++ is going to be one of the most mentally demanding programming languages. It is very challenging, but I'm gonna make it simple for you and I'm gonna help stretch your brain to understand all these concepts. So my dog's probably gonna make noise this whole series, but we'll try to ignore him and we'll just have some fun let's get started. And one other thing throughout the series, I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsor who generously sponsored this entire series and is helping me make videos like this possible. So with that, our sponsor is Embarcadero, and they have two products you might be interested in, C++ Builder and Rad Studio. So I'll give you guys an ad for Rad Studio, and then you'll see some other stuff on C++ Builder soon. Rad Studio is the IDE of choice for C++ development. Quickly build native mobile and desktop applications from a single C++ codebase and deploy to Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. With Rad Studio, user interface design has been made easy with hundreds of pre-built components for cross-platform development. You can easily integrate with popular source control management systems, databases, APIs, and you can make your life easier with numerous third-party extensions. Let Rad Studio do the heavy lifting when it comes to C++ development. Give it a go with a free trial by following the link in the description. So let's get started with the series, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.